This is your reminder to grab your pickles if you are joining in. This is Pickle Talk, where we eat pickles and we talk some shit. We just talk about random things, honestly, depending on the day, the mood, the week. So grab your pickles if you are in the pickle fam, all right? It's not for everyone, I understand. I've been eating these outside of Pickle Talk, so I have 4 left and one of them's a little baby. Oh, I got one. You're mine. If you have not seen the post on Instagram or in my YouTube community, I had surgery and it sucked. Quite literally, the worst and most traumatizing experience I've ever faced. So I'm going to tell you that story today while I eat some pickles. Stay on the fork. No, no, no. Also, I just want to say, before I tell you the story, I want to say thank you. Oh my God, I just spit everywhere. I want to say thank you for everyone who did see the post and wrote the sweetest message to me, wishing me well in my recovery or messaging me and see how I'm doing. I appreciate it so much. It is so sweet. I will start off by saying I am well. I am 9 days into my recovery at this point. Full recovery is 6 to 8 weeks. I have an appointment at the 4-week mark. First week, pretty brutal with pain. It's starting to ease up a little bit every day. Pain meds, icing, heating pads on my back. It's all I can do, you guys, and just, you know, get some rest. So this is how it started. Everyone who's seen the picture of the lump is like, what is that? It is called a lipoma tumor, which are usually benign. They are essentially a big ball of fat. Yeah, really gross. Like, kind of looks like a chicken cutlet. I first noticed said lump, who I named Wilbur, back in 2020. I had a lot of back pain, so Matt was giving me a massage, and then he felt this like bump, and he's like, I think you have a really bad knot, and that is what is causing your pain and your migraines and your neck pain. So he started pressing on it, like trying to get the knot out, and he was massaging it and pressing on it, and for days I was in agony, and he's like, this knot is awful, like you should maybe go get it checked out, because I don't think it's a knot. I will put pictures on the screen throughout this video, even from surgery. Don't worry, I will censor and make sure I give a trigger warning if there's gonna be, because some of them are gross. Anyways, the lump was a lot smaller than what it is now. So I went and got an ultrasound done. They said that they thought it was a cyst at the time, so I had to go and get ultrasounds done on it just to make sure we knew what it was. Went to get an ultrasound done. They said we think it's a lipoma. It's not life-threatening. However, it can continue to grow, so just monitor it. And if it causes you pain, let us know. So I was like, all right, whatever. What's a little lump? If it's not life-threatening, I'm gonna leave it in my body. Long story short, years go by, okay? About 2 years, it's gotten bigger. It's still causing pain. So I'm like, I'm gonna have to go see a specialist. I went to see said specialist. They said, yes, it is in fact a lipoma, and the only way to get rid of it is to have it surgically removed. That is up to you, your choice. It will not threaten your life by any means, because majority of lipomas cannot be cancerous based on the material that it's made up of, I guess. So they weren't worried or concerned in that way. However, it was growing directly, basically next to my frickin' spine at the very top here, right? I dropped my pickle. I'm still eating it. However, this surgery is not covered by OHIP, and they consider it cosmetic surgery, which I highly disagree with. So it would cost me just under $900 to get removed. No coverage. Even if you have coverage, it doesn't work. You can't cover it because it's cosmetic surgery. So I took my time with that information. Let me just say that. I took my time because I obviously didn't want to spend $900 to have this removed. And 2, I found out that you had to be awake for the surgery. He said they do not put you under. It's not an option. They just numb the area. So obviously I was terrified, and I was like, I don't necessarily want to sign myself up for that and pay $900 for that. So I took my time, okay? Yeah. Well, Wilbur kept growing in size. Another year goes by, growing in size. They said, we will do the surgery whenever you're ready. So after another year went by, he kept growing, causing me more migraines and pain. I said, I need to be a big girl and get on the wait list there, because they had me on a wait list at the hospital for the surgery, and if they called, I probably would have kept putting it off. But I had to be a big girl, so I said, all right, ring-ling-ling, hey, yep, next available, sure, yeah, I'm on the wait list, perfect, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready at all, but I was just like pretending. So it happened quick. They were like, yo, we got a spot in like 6 days. You want it? And I was like, just do it. Just do it. So I said yes. Come surgery day, there was really no prep. You could still eat, drink, drive, whatever you want. There were no restrictions going into it, all right? I beforehand looked up the research of lipoma excision. That's the surgery. Didn't like what I saw. Don't recommend watching a YouTube video about how it's removed before you go and get it. So I was already terrified going in there. I faint all the time very easily. I don't know if you guys know that. It's just a mystery medical condition I've had since I was 21. And I just faint out of nowhere all the time. Yes, I've done many tests. I've seen specialists. That's another day, another time. You know what I mean? So I already knew going into it, I'm probably going to faint. And my surgeon knew it as well because I obviously told him. So I go there, Matt brings me to the hospital, and my mom also joins because we found out that I couldn't have anyone in the surgery room with me. So she was like, I'll keep Matt company. Bless her soul. How cute. No one could keep me company though. So I'm nervous as can be. I quite literally feel like I'm going to shit my pants at any moment. They call me back. I go in. They're like, okay, we're gonna numb you up. Here I am thinking I can get through one needle. I hate needles. I don't do well with them. Anytime I get blood work done, I faint. Every single time, like freaking clockwork, okay? So I already knew going into it, I'm gonna have to brave a needle. I have to brave about 10 of them because the numbing needles, there's a whole wackadoodle bunch of them and they hurt like a motherfucker. No one let me know that those were gonna be the worst pain ever. So anyways, they shoot them in. I'm in agony the whole time. I'm like, bro, I'm gonna faint. Whatever. They allow me to lie down for a bit before we proceed with the surgery because you want it to do its thing. And also I was literally about to faint. The nurses start walking by and they see that I'm like about to faint and I'm very nervous for this procedure. And they were all so lovely. Honestly made the entire thing as good as it could be. And they were checking in on me and they said, we're gonna get through this together. I go into the surgery room. Okay. I'm terrified. I see the light, I see the tools, and I'm like, oh my God. And I kept like punching my back. I was like, can I feel it? Like I wanted to make sure I was numb because I've never been numbed before like that. So I was like, wait, what if I feel it? So I just kept pinching the area like in fear that I was gonna still feel it. Anyways, I lie down on my side. He tells me beforehand. I ask him for the rundown. I'm like, sir, what can I expect here? He says to me, you know, most people who come in here and have this done, they leave saying, oh, that's it? It's always easier than they expect. They get worked up for nothing. So I was feeling like, okay, very comforting. Then he says, it'll take less than 20 minutes. If it's more than 20 minutes, that usually means like it's worst case scenario. There's some complications. So in my head, I'm like, what's 20 minutes? You know, I'm trying to talk myself. We can get through this. It's gonna be easy peasy. What is less than 20 minutes? That is gonna fly by. Yeah, 20 minutes would have flown by. Guess how long I was on there for? I was on their little surgery table for an hour. Come here, Mr. Pickle. Oh, the baby. So the surgery begins. He slices me open and I don't feel it, which was great at that time. I did not feel it. But you felt everything throughout, which he said was normal. He did warn me. He's like, you're going to feel like pressure and you're going to feel me tugging and stuff like that. And he said, that's all very normal. It's not meant to hurt, but it is really weird. And it was like sore because they really were pulling a lot. It's a weird feeling. It was traumatizing. I felt like I was in a horror movie, if I'm being honest. So I'm on my side. they're cutting right here, which is right next to my head. So I can also hear what's happening and it's all there. And the nurses see, I'm like, I'm a faint. I'm getting dizzy. I'm getting dizzy. I'm a go down. Timber me, like I'm about to go down. So a very sweet nurse gets me a cold cloth and puts it on my forehead. And then a bunch of nurses, there was honestly like 3 or 4 of them in there the whole time. And they were just talking to me because they knew I was nervous. One of them was rubbing my leg and they were trying to make conversation because they knew your girl's about to faint. They were asking about my YouTube, this and that, like just life. We were chit-chatting. They were trying to make me laugh. They put on music. Bless them. I was struggling. So it had to have been about 30 minutes in and I'm thinking like, I'm in agony. My whole back starts to hurt because it's sore, because they are pulling. And turns out, usually the lipoma is underneath like your skin layer. So when they cut, it's usually right there and the extraction is very simple. It's meant to be a simple procedure. Mine was under the muscle. And to boot, it was like triple the size we thought it was. And it was stuck in muscle fascia. Okay? So they were really struggling to get it cut out. And they were in like the deepest parts that it could be where there's a lot of nerves. So about 30 minutes in, I'm dying. In my head, I am praying to anything I believe in, okay? I was just like... For the love of pickles, I hope they're almost done. At one point I was like, I think they're sewing me up now. And then they say, it's not even halfway out yet. And I lose all hope. I lose all will to live. I'm literally in that moment, I'm like, I'm defeated. I can't take any more. I'm in pain. I'm getting anxious. I feel like I'm on the verge of throwing up and fainting. Like, it wasn't even halfway out. Anyways, they continue and they're really struggling. And at that point, I start to feel it. I start to feel the cutting because they were trying to cut it out of the muscle fascia and it felt like pinching. So he told me, he's like, if you feel any pinching or pain, you tell me. I did. And I also heard it. Traumatizing. So anyways, then they have to inject more needles inside the wound. The incision where they're working to numb it so that I don't... That was awful. This burning, awful feeling. But if it numbs me up, I don't care. Inject whatever, as long as I don't feel the cutting anymore. So they do that, 2 needles, whatever. They get a second surgeon in there, which just happened to be my surgeon's dad, which is so cute that they like work together. Anyways, they were really struggling trying to cut this sucker out, all right? An hour goes by. Finally, I will never forget when they said, Wilbur has been born, because they knew that I named him Wilbur and we were joking about it. I have never felt more relief in my life. Even though there was still more of the procedure to go, I was so excited. We all clapped. We were all like laughing. And I was like, are you going to play the music in the hospital like when the baby's born? Because this is my child. Much bigger in size. I will show you guys a picture of that. I might have to blur it some because of YouTube. But this sucker was big. Now it is yellow underneath. The red is the blood because this was quite literally right after the surgery. So just when you think it's over, they start telling me that I'm probably not going to want to eat chicken tonight or barbecue. And I'm like, why? Why? What do you mean? Yeah, they have to, I forget the medical term, but they have to burn the flesh on the inside, like the skin, because they made cuts and stuff in there. So they would burn it to seal it and to like burn off any bacteria or germs. When I tell you, I still cannot get the smell of my own burning flesh next to my face out of my head. The most disgusting and disturbing thing I could ever tell you. Anyways, they burn and then they do the stitching and they do everything else. And I survived and I've never been so happy for that to be over. Traumatizing. Traumatizing. The first night, when I walked out of that room and I went to the waiting room where Matt and my mom were, I was like shaking and I was like, we need to go. I was like traumatized. I was traumatized. So anyways, They didn't give me any painkillers either, which is crazy. They said like over-the-counter stuff would be enough. They lied, not true. That pain is no joke, okay? And the first night I tried to sleep, like that night of the surgery day, I had literal nightmares. I couldn't sleep. I was so anxious and I was lying on my side because I can't sleep. I can only sleep one way. And I was literally just like replaying and thinking about what happened. And it was awful. I don't have those nightmares anymore. I am 9 days in. It's much different. I'm getting more movement back in my body. I'm walking a lot. I'm only able to walk right now. I got to keep icing and taking some pain medication, but your girl is okay. They also send off the tumor to pathology to be tested just in case. And the results came back and your girl is fine. The tumor was benign. So we got positive updates over here. I'm going to keep recovering. Any updates I will send your way. But that is my experience. Maybe you had a much better experience with your lipoma surgery. Not so much for me. It's been pretty brutal. But your girl is okay. We're going to heal. We're going to be totally good to go in no time. I'm out of here though, you guys. Stay classy out there. Stay sassy. And eat the pickles.